And now, we've come to the portion of our show where we have to ask, what just happened? We can't believe it either, but let's take a look back at the insanity that was this week and look ahead to what will make us facepalm next week. This is What Just Happened on the Dean Obeidallah Show. Take it away, Dean.
And welcome to the show, folks. We're live right here Friday, March 29th. It is What Just Happened. I'm Dean Obeidallah, so I will take it away. We have three, not two, but three fabulous guests tonight in studio. First, back, returning champion, Xorje Olivares. Yeah. He's got his own show, Affirmative Reaction, every Saturday on this very channel at 2 p.m., right? It's 2 p.m.
At noon.
Noon to 2 p.m. I'm sorry, noon to 2 p.m. And who's on tomorrow, by the way?
So tomorrow I have Luis Galilei. He is a Latino performer, and also Julie Pinheiro, who works for the Huffington Post.
And I listened to some of your interviews, with the actor, who I like that guy. He's a good actor.
Yul Vasquez?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Right. His wife, I was listening to you talk about his wife being like, and I Googled, she's
he tried really hard not to, really hard not to mention who his wife is. His wife is the voice of Jasmine.
I know. I'm like, man.
Which is really damn cool.
Oh, man, if my girlfriend could do that, I would have to work. And then also turning our friend Carolina Hidalgo, who's a comedian, podcaster, and movie signs with the Mads. Thank you very much for coming back, my friend.
Thank you.
How have you been?
Oh, good. Great. Fantastic.
That's a lot. And now, making her debut on the Dean Obeidallah Show.
Really?
The Queen of Palestine. You know her as Nina the Lamb, Nina Kharoufeh. Kharoufeh is Arabic for lamb. Her last name means lamb in Arabic.
I didn't know that.
Exactly. Well, you're not
cool.
Arab. So my name's Servant of God. So Nina, welcome to the show. You look great as always. Nina's Instagramming it up right now. You can watch us on Instagram. It's trending across the Middle East, no doubt. I'm sure. In Ramallah right now, they're shooting guns into the air and rejoicing that Nina is on. Nina's made it. Allah Akbar. And there's a lot of screaming. No.
Hi, pumpkin.
Hello. That's made me feel bad. Then I was
Dean is my little princess. I love you so much.
Oh my God! All right, let's continue. Let's start out with a little humor. This to me, this wasn't on the list of things I sent you guys. Doesn't matter. This was Trump last night. It's just 30 seconds, and I think we finally found out what he might be good at. Actually, it was on our list, and this is on CNN today. And listen to all the pundits and anchors laughing after the clip plays. Here's clip. We're going to go to clip number 2, please.
Something that Allison described previously as the breaking wind news. So let's listen.
If Hillary got in, you wouldn't have that stat, I can tell you right now. You'd be doing windmills, and if it doesn't blow, you can forget about television for that night. Darling, I want to watch television. I'm sorry. The wind isn't blowing. I know a lot about wind. Oh, so good.
That's Anger's actually laughing organically at the president of the United States. I know a lot. And he actually sounds like a caricature of himself at this point. It doesn't even sound real. Panel, take it away. Who wants it? Jorge, you're not.
Well, so first off, who were the anchors were for what network?
That was CNN. It was John Berman and Allison Camerata.
Okay.
But also the other people in the boxes, like John Avalon, the former U.S. attorney's there. He's laughing too. Like everyone was laughing. They couldn't believe that.
Yes, the man. And this is not the only instance in which he does it. He always sounds like a child. Everything he says, the words that he uses, the limited vocabulary he has. He sounds like what a child would say. Like I could see my 10-year-old cousin saying like, "Oh my God, windmills! I love wind. It's amazing." And we just seem to expect that of Trump. And I think the laughter is something that we've done it here many times on this show. Like you can't help but laugh to keep yourself from crying because it's just so stupid and so ridiculous that we're dealing with somebody who has the nuclear codes,
right,
and is yet operating in a way that is not only scary, but also doing so in a way that I'm sure people were watching that and like, oh my, yeah, the man does know about wind.
What?
Honey,
we want TV. Wind. AOC wants to take your TV away, honey.
Because she's elite. Remember? It's an elitist issue to care about climate change.
Nina, do you think he knows? We finally found what he knows about wind?
No, I don't think you could be a wind expert unless you wear a hijab because the wind is constantly blowing at it. I have to hold it down. So I think I'm a wind expert.
You are.
But I can't imagine if like Barack Obama said that when he was president, the country would be rioting at the fact that he said he's a wind expert.
Fox News would have mocked him. And
Only hijabis can be wind experts, and those who wear wigs.
And why is it?
Trump
Why
does,
is it?
so-
Why is the fact that you wear a hijab, which is simple head covering, folks? Why does that make you a wind expert? Is that something you really have to fight, like when you're walking the
Yes,
streets?
all the time. Like yesterday, I was just walking and it's like blowing and I'm like holding it from like all the angles and stuff. So yeah, I constantly fight with the wind. Windmills.
Carolina, your relationship with the wind?
I can't believe that's where we're at right now. It's like, how well do you know the wind compared to the president of the United States? And I feel like you know what? Doesn't he have like some sort of toupee situation? Maybe
Yeah,
he does
exactly.
know
So
a
I
little
feel
bit
like
more.
Yeah,
but
me and him can relate on that.
You're right. He's
is-
got his own hijab.
But it's so sad, though. It's so sad that, like, exactly what Xorje said is, like, we have to laugh at this, like, guy doing, like, cruise ship, like, comedy shows. And his premises are, like, all right, you got to make a joke about the wind. You can't have television that night. And then all of a sudden it's, like, taken as fact.
I thought he was going to quickly, as a hack comedian that he is, which means hackney, folks, which just means a cliche, would somehow get to like a farting joke in there, but he didn't do that. Like,
It legitimately
pull my
sounded-
finger, honey. We need wind in the house, or something like that.
Legitimately sounded like a poor sketch on SNL.
And it would have 50 different clickbait articles written about it. If Donald Trump were to say a
Right.
fart joke, I guarantee you there'd be a BuzzFeed quiz that's like, how many times can you say fart in a sentence like Donald Trump? Here's your quiz. And people would click, and it'd probably be the highest rated article on that website as it would be on any other website, because people, and somebody was talking about this earlier today, this idea that even if you try to talk about the ridiculousness that is Trump on a digital platform,
Sure.
you're still feeding into it. Whether it's bad press or good press, you're still allowing Trump to drive the narrative by even including him in the conversation to begin with. So is it just a matter of like, all right, Donald Trump said fart, cool. Let's talk about healthcare. Let's talk about what's happening at the border with regards to the people who are in El
The
Paso.
border was closed. Trump closed it by
He
Twitter.
closed
You
it.
didn't see it today. It's
There's
gone.
no way
more
I'm going to be able to go home now. But it's like, so many people are just so keen on talking about the stupidity of Trump that we're only making matters worse.
There goes the rest of the show. All I had was
Damn
the
it.
stupidity. No, so let's
Ta-da.
let's talk about the Barr report. That not because there's no Mueller report, but from Monday. And I want to play from Colbert. He did a cold open like SNL, so he's not even in it. It's actually actors playing it, and he did a parody. I won't tell you exactly what it is, even though you don't see it. I still think it's funny, and it's about Barr writing a 4-page report based on a 400-page report. So let's hear clip number 5. We'll go to, please.
The 4-page letter from the Attorney General describing and interpreting what he read in the Mueller report.
Are you curious about classic texts but don't have access to the material? Wish there was an easier way? Well, now there is! Introducing Bar Notes. Bar Notes provide extremely brief summaries of complex ideas so you can move on. You'll get Barr's takes on all classics, like Romeo and Juliet. The play states that 2 people fell in love and drank poison. The investigation did not establish that the Capulets or the Montagues conspired or coordinated in the poisoning or the subsequent self-stabbing. Little Women, a coming-of-age tale. The book does not draw a conclusion on the character's size or gender. And even Herman Melville's classic Moby Dick. The author lays out the facts of the de-legging by the whale without reaching any legal conclusions, leaving it to me to decide whether the conduct of the whale constitutes a crime. I have concluded that the evidence does not establish such guilt by the whale. Total exoneration. So pick up Bar Notes today and get just enough information to leave you confused and angry.
Barr Notes. So we had last weekend Bill Barr, who's Donald Trump's Attorney General for Nina. And
Actually, I just learned that today because I read up on it.
All right, so Nina, don't
Please.
Right, so we're joking.
Don't
around.
even
Nina
start.
and I were talking before the show, and she knows who the AG is, folks. I'm kidding. And so he does this like 3.5-page report as like Trump's the greatest guy ever. He knows about wind. He's the best. He's the best. He's my boss. You know, he's not staring at me as I write this right now. Maybe a little bit, that kind of stuff. Can I finally eat? Let me out of the closet, kind of stuff. Wherever he's in the basement. Are you guys satisfied with what you've seen of the Barr report? Carolina, we'll start with you.
Am I satisfied? Well, first,
What do you want from the Barr report? What would you like?
I would like the whole thing, which is so weird because in college, like, I was Sparks Notes all the time.
Right.
So it's weird that now I want to see the whole thing. Because this is something we've been waiting on for 2 years, and it's so important for everyone. It's so funny because I feel like they're doing this like cat and mouse thing, like almost on purpose. Of like, oh no, we're not going to show you. We're not going to show you. This is gonna be a fun game, and then we're going to show you later. But it just feels exhausting. And like, let's just get it over with. Like the deadline's like what, Tuesday? They say.
Well,
but
it's probably not going to happen.
kinda...
Right, it's not going to happen because we have a new letter from Barr today. Every Friday he gives a new Barr letter out, and this one's like a page and a half, and this one's just full of shit. I covered it earlier in the show. It's so upsetting to me it's so upsetting that right in front of us, Bill Barr is covering up for Donald Trump's crimes, like right in real time, right in front of us. And I'm trying not to get angry about it, but I find myself angry. Nina, what part of this do you like, you don't like? Do you think? Let me ask you this.
I don't like any of it.
Talk to me about it. Explain.
I kind of just want it to go away, or like it's just been in the news for so long, and it's just what you hear 24/7. It's so mentally exhausting. It's either like just tell us what it is, or just make this go away, because there's more important things to cover in the news than
like
this.
What?
Like kids still being in cages.
True, fair enough. That's always a good answer. You always go to that one.
Oh, great. Thank you. That's going to be my next talking point. No, there's just other things to worry about, like Medicare for all and just Mueller this and that. It's like exhausting. It's just like, go away.
Interesting. So Nina is feeling like she's got Mueller fatigue on some level.
Yeah, I'm kind of just over it.
And Xorje, my friend?
Yes.
What's your reaction to from what you saw the Barr report, and what more do you want from this?
Well, even right now, so I always appreciate this because since Dean is the last person to do the show here in the studio before I come in to do my show on Saturdays, I always turn on the TV and Fox News is on, and I always remember it's like Dean likes to watch Fox.
No, they have it on. I'm forced. It's part of my contract.
But I'm across the studio from Fox News right now, and the headline was that the Barr report, that it's now this part of this new Dem. Well, it was right now, but it was about this new Dem hoax that Barr is coordinating with Mother Russia or something like that. So we know that right now Fox and the right-wing propaganda are using the left's reaction to the Barr report, and in their words, they're equivocating it with the Mueller report, which is not true.
Like, we don't have the Mueller report.
Yes. So they're trying to say that because, and it's even using that language, left's obsession. They're trying to say that the left has become so obsessed with the Mueller report, which is really just the Barr letter. And in doing so, like just completely keeping us unable to think about anything else. The thing that I find most fascinating is how the media is continuing to label it as such, the Barr, and trying to make it seem as though the Barr letter is the same as the Mueller report, when it's absolutely not.
It's not.
It's something written by somebody who was handpicked by Donald Trump to lead this, and somebody who has said many times before that he doesn't approve of the Mueller investigation to begin with. And so I put no, credence whatsoever into what Barr is saying. And I think the other part is Mueller investigation. It was only one component to everything that Donald Trump has done badly over the past couple of years. So yes, it should be something that we focus on and think about, because if there are revelations in it, 400 pages,
there's going to be a lot of revelation. My friends, it's going to be.
Who's going to read 400 pages? That's so
I will
much.
read. Me and Carolina.
Oh my God.
will
read 400 pages.
Oh, okay.
But the idea that 400
each one of us
pages,
will read 100 pages.
That's a good idea.
And then we'll exchange notes.
The last 100.
But I'll skip.
But Nina,
club.
let me ask Nina, as someone who's been in the Middle East countless times. In the Middle East, this would be normal that the person who's the leader is being investigated, and that investigation is given to two people that he handpicked to go through it and hey, he's not guilty of any crimes. And if we read about that anywhere else, we go, that's a banana republic. But that's America today. That's literally what's happened, where Rod Rosenstein and Bill Barr, both appointed by Trump, get the report, and they go, we wrote a letter after reviewing it, and we said you did nothing wrong. And it was right on the fence. We could have went either way, but we went with you, boss.
Yeah.
That's literally what happened. Is that not something we see in the Middle East?
Everything's corrupt in the Middle East.
So does this sound like corruption to you?
Yes, it sure does. But is anyone going to do anything about it? Probably not.
We are on the Progress Channel, aren't we?
I hope so.
But the other thing is understanding that, again, this is just one thing that we need to be focused on, because you can talk about the hush payments to Stormy Daniels. That's a complete other thing that is actually quite possible, something that could take him down because of the fact that the payments were made allegedly according to the Cohen testimony.
Who's going to take him down? Avenatti's in jail now.
Well, and that's the other thing.
He's too cute to be in jail.
Can we talk about the fact that happened this week?
Free Avenatti! Hashtag free Avenatti.
That Avenatti being charged with extortion, that happened this week. The Special Olympics thing, back and forth, that happened this week. Right. And I don't know. There's
a lot going on, buddy.
There is.
And the border's closed.
The border.
via tweet.
So the funny thing is, I am literally going back home to the border next week for a family event, and we had already made plans to go across because it's that easy. We're going across. We're going to go have dinner as we do on the border. But now
can
we
you
don't know.
just to share with us sincerely?
Yes.
If you want to cross the border as a U.S. citizen to go to Mexico for dinner,
It costs I think it's like $3 the toll. And
wow.
so if I
Let's all
drive,
go.
if I drive from my hometown, if I drive from my house to the border, it's like 10 minutes to go to the bridge. You pay what we call the pasada. It's the toll. And I can be in a restaurant, depending on where it is in the city across from ours, in 10 minutes.
and
So-
there's not long. Like when I watch Sicario, is that what it's called? Or what's that movie? The movie about the guy
Sicario?
Sicario. There's always. How come in all those movies when they're trying to cross the border, there's like huge long lines?
There's long lines to come back.
Oh,
there's
there
never that many lines
are.
to
Okay.
go. So you go. It takes all of 2 seconds to cross over, and then you can kind of navigate wherever you are based off that. When you come back, you need your passport now. You never used to. When I grew up, you never needed your passport. It was only after 9/11 that the passport thing was enforced.
We apologize for that.
I'm sorry.
We're both sorry about that.
My uncle didn't mean it.
So last week I was home after a trip to Mexico City. I went home for a little bit, and we waited in line maybe 45 minutes to an hour just to come back to our
Is that
city.
typical? Is that, I don't know.
It is. I mean, it was a Saturday night. Usually that many people are coming
That's
back
a
into
long
the city.
time.
Yeah.
And so you have to go through different lines. You have to present your passport. If there's somebody in your car who doesn't have their passport, you have to go to another line.
You have to get out of the car?
No, we've never had to do that. There's been times when I was growing up in high school, there were times that if they were a little curious about what's going on in the car, they would have you come out of the car at the Border Patrol checkpoint. And that's always scary because like you don't want to be caught in Mexico and like.
No, I've seen a lot of movies.
Then you
Yes.
get your
Not
liver sold on the black.
Well,
It doesn't happen all the time.
You just got to buy it back.
you just gotta.
It's on eBay.
Yeah, but
Dad bid
Then
somebody.
you're dead.
But the interesting thing is this coming weekend, like literally tomorrow, my hometown is having this thing where it's the Friendship Day Parade. And
That's
our
so cute.
hometown has a Friendship Day Parade with our Mexican neighbor. And what it is it's our way to celebrate and honor the fact that we feel like one community. We don't feel like you're Mexico. We don't feel like we're a Texas city. We feel like we're the same people because we have family. A lot of people in my hometown have family across. A lot of us have friends across. Some of us go quite often. So it's always been this
Trump's going to stop that. He has to stop that. This is just un-American. God damn it, Jorge.
He's so
We
close
have to
to
build a wall.
closing it, and he's
He
talking
really
about-
is?
Yeah, he says he's gonna. He even there was a press conference I guess he had where he was adamant. I'm closing the border. I can't deal with this undocumented immigration anymore, without accounting for the fact that in our hometown, whenever you pay the toll to cross, all of that money comes back to our community. So last year alone, if I'm not mistaken, I was told that it was like $15 million that were spent just on tolls to cross from my hometown to Mexico. That's $15 million that is fed back into my community that we might now have to forfeit if Donald Trump chooses to close the border for
King
whatever
Trump?
Exactly.
All right.
Living on the border is a very
This is
fascinating.
okay. We've got to take a break, but let me ask you before we take the break. Quick answers here. Do you think, since Monday's Barr report was released, that it had an impact on Trump's approval ratings, either way, up or down? We'll just go around and then we'll play a clip out as we go. Nina, up or down? You think helped him, hurt him, or of course could be in
Helped
between.
him.
Helped him better.
Yes.
I think it hurt him, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
With his base, I think.
No,
that's
with
it.
the normal approval ratings, like the average 538, using the 538 average.
Well, he tweeted out the 50% from the Rasmussen.
Right.
I would say people, if people took it for
Quick
just,
answer.
I know, sorry.
It's either better or worse or the same. Those are the three options you've got.
With his base, I think it helped him.
Not his base. Overall, the 538 average approval ratings of the
Answer
entire
the question,
America.
Jorge.
I think it still helped
Your
him.
Honor, please direct the witness to answer the question.
I think it still helped him.
All right, so we'll go to commercial. We'll play Colbert. Literally, he's reading the real rate. The real average on 538 in this is from 2 days ago, and this is still completely accurate. And I think it's pretty fun. Here's clip number 6 as we go out to break.
Donald Trump's been living it up since the Barr report on the Mueller report totally cleared him of half the charges. And that is a huge boost, and you can see it in his approval ratings. On March 23rd, the day before the Mueller report was delivered, Trump was at 41.9%. But today, with the collusion cloud lifted, that number has soared to 41.9%. Voters were also asked if they had a more or less favorable view of Trump after Mueller's findings. 39% said more favorable, while 43% said less favorable. So what? Let me get this straight. After finding out that he did not collude with the Russians, people liked him less. Wait, I don't...
What? The Dean Obeidallah Show.
Whoever's the next president, we should call him the 45th president of the United States. And this will go down as a dark time in America that we'll never refer to again.
SiriusXM Progress. You're listening to What Just Happened with everyone's favorite host, Dean Obeidallah.
And welcome back to the Dean Obeidallah Show. I'm apparently everyone's favorite host because we paid that guy to record that. And it's What Just Happened, Friday, March 29th. We are live, joined by Carolina Hidalgo, Nina Kharoufeh, and Xorje Olivares. The three toughest names. This is what I do, folks. I deliver. This is
Not
diverse.
easy.
I love this. And we don't have Evan here, which is even better. No, Evan's our buddy.
Evan, we love you.
He was supposed to be here, and unfortunately, he couldn't make. We have Evan Siegfried, who's our Republican friend. So, Nina, we're going to look to you to start this off. Jussie Smollett, victim, criminal, innocent, guilty,
100%
WTF? What is
victim.
going on? And as everybody knows, but just in case you didn't follow everything, Jussie's an actor, was on Empire, said in January that he was attacked by men yelling racist and homophobic slurs. Chicago police investigated. It's a possible hate crime. Turned out they learned in their own investigation that it was staged by Smollett to bolster his profile and career. A grand jury, not just the police, a grand jury indicted him on 16 counts of disorderly conduct in March. And then this week, The police announced they're dropping the case. He forfeits his $10,000 bail. In exchange, it also does community service. Nina, explain to us what is going on here.
All right. I believe Jussie Smollett. I'm a huge Jussie Smollett fan. I've met him a bunch of times. I've met his mom. He's like the nicest guy on the planet. I believe him for multiple reasons because, first of all, nobody's that stupid to make it up. Like, no one's that dumb. I'm sorry. Second of all, people are saying that his motive was because he was getting written off the show. I am up to date on Empire. I've watched every single episode, and in the last season, he had just gotten engaged, his character. So his character was growing, so there's no way he would have gotten written off. Also, I have a tweet from one of the writers who wrote, there is 0% truth that Jussie Smollett was going to be written off of Empire. The rumor is totally false. He is the third lead and one of the most beloved characters on the show. Writing him off has never been discussed. So there is that.
Interesting.
Then there's another reason how if he was going to pay people to beat him up, he wouldn't pay two black guys to beat him up. And then it says that he had given the two Nigerian brothers cash to buy the rope and the hats, but then he wrote them a check for the actual assault. That doesn't make any sense. And then not only that, he's a nice guy. I believe he was a victim. I really do. Yes.
I'm only going to say this, and this is not about Jussie Smollett. I'm just to be fair. I'm a former lawyer. I did prosecutions in South Hackensack. You'd be amazed how many smart people do bad things thinking they're not going to get caught. I'm not saying Jussie Smollett's that, but I'm just saying, like, writing a check, you'd be amazed what people do.
I mean, don't you watch Law and Order? He's a TV star. He watches
I cannot
TV.
tell you how people, some are dumb, or some think they're too smart and think they're going to, I'm so smart and I'll outsmart the system.
They
get
were
caught.
also his
and I'm not
trainers.
I had checked to your personal lawyer for $130,000.
They were also his trainers.
But now, right, the city's law department wants the repayment of $130,000, which they say is the cost of overtime for the police and everything. So
he didn't ask the police to go overtime.
No, that's not a defense.
It's a defense.
It is not.
I'm
going to
be a lawyer.
I'm not saying. Look, if $130,000, if that gets him done with this, it might be worth it for Jussie. I don't know.
He's a millionaire. I'm sure he'll pay it. It's not a big deal.
So you're on team Jussie.
I am. I really am. I genuinely believe that.
Carolina, where do you come down on this?
Well, my question is, like, so they arrested the two men who did this, and they did say that Jussie paid them, right? That's like a thing. That's what they said. And then he wrote them the check. Did he ever answer to why he wrote them a check?
Yes, they were his trainers. He wanted to get ripped for a music video because he's also an actual performer in real
singer,
life.
Right?
Yeah. And he had written the check. He had written the check to them like a while before the actual attack. And they're trainers. They're actual gym trainers. And there's even evidence that they've been training him at the gym. So it's like he has a valid excuse for why he paid them.
I believe Nina.
Thank you so much.
You're not sure about Jussie.
You're
you believe Nina.
Yeah, it's just Jussie. I don't know, but
we're
Nina,
like
I believe.
Jury. You guys are the jury here, and Nina is the defense attorney.
He's not that stupid.
And I'll be the judge because I have no. Because I went from like, oh my God, this guy's it's so heartbreaking what they did to him. This is ridiculous. To like, I can't believe he did this. And there were people like Charles Blow, who's African American and gay on TV going, you'll never be welcome in our community, like all this stuff. And now it feels like momentum is shifting where tonight.
Who's that guy to say who's allowed in the community or not?
He said he hurt the LGBT community so much. That's what he meant more than I think the black community.
The media hurt the LGBT community, not him, because they're the ones who blew the story up about him making it up.
All right, Jorge, you are obviously you are part of the LGBT community. We talked about Jussie in the past. What is your take now after all of this?
Well, I will say I agree with what Nina just said about that. It's part of the media's fault that it immediately became as sensational of a story as it became. I always said at the beginning when we were still trying to figure out the facts that Jussie Smollett, as the victim, as he was being presented to us at the time, that Jussie Smollett didn't owe us anything. That this person who had undergone what he alleged was an attack by two men that was racist and that was homophobic, that it was up for him as a survivor, as the survivor that he said he was. It was up for him to deal with his trauma, to go through the process, and to work with the officials necessary to figure out what happened in that case. Immediately, because of his celebrity, because of his stature, it became a TMZ story. It became an Access Hollywood story. It became a People.com story. It became that. And then now that we live in this world of Twitter, where if it's tweeted and if somebody retweets it, and it has all these retweets and all these likes, and it has to be something that's true. And so because of the immediacy in which people were trying to create their own answers with the story, Jussie was first the victim, then he became the perpetrator, and without any sort of evidence that was physically made to us, all the evidence that was provided in the case, people were already starting to make a decision and already saying he's canceled. We can't believe him, and this person this and person that. I think all those people this week were trying to have a come to Jesus moment where it's like, oh, I guess we were wrong. Maybe we should have allowed
but at some level, the police,
justice system.
But the police are saying that he's not technically exonerated. That's the complication.
Is that why he had to do community service?
Sure, but
he's doing some penalties. Right, that's a great point.
One of the biggest things that has been surrounding this case is the fact that it happened in Chicago, because a lot of people have these thoughts already about the Chicago Police Department, because so many people like to say, the Chicago Police Department apparently is fine talking about Jussie Smollett, but won't talk about the fact that they've covered up cases where young black men have been killed by authority figures. Nobody wants it to, like Rahm Emanuel. Wow, it's so funny that now you're making the TV rounds, but before, when you were talking about the millions of dollars that the city of Chicago has had to pay out of settlements because of what has taken place from the Chicago Police Department, now this is something you care about. That's what makes the story even more complicated. One, people have this fear of what's taking place in the Chicago Police Department, and then the other is, I don't know if we can trust this particular openly gay black man for the story that he's told because of the weird
But let me ask you. Let me ask specifically, because you are active in the LGBT community. What has the reaction been from the LGBT community? From in the beginning, we talked about it. I think I can't recall in the beginning, and then now. Like, has there been a change? Have you seen it? And I'm not asking officially. I'm saying, have you seen on Twitter? Has GLAAD come out? Have organizations said anything now about the newest thing?
I'm not sure, but I think the people who have believed him from the beginning have stuck by him. And I don't think so. At the very beginning, pretty much anybody who is a member of the LGBT community, especially those that I follow online, were swift to say, this is an attack on our community. This is something that we've witnessed from time to time, with regards to identity, being a person of color, especially a queer person of color. This is more than likely going to happen to you, have violence acted against you, than not. So it wasn't as far-fetched of an idea that a queer person of color would be victimized, because we've seen it happen historically. Then when, Images of the Check came out, and then you had the Chicago Police Department superintendent come out and make, have that elaborate of a press conference as he did
on the show. That was unbelievable.
And then I think that's where people started to get a little skeptical. And then you had Empire say, all right, we're going to write him off the last 2 episodes of the season. And then you had Lee Daniels come out just last week with a video. Lee Daniels, who was somebody who was on his side at the beginning, now say, a lot of people in the Empire community and the Empire family are pissed. They're upset. They don't know what to believe. So you could tell just by his language that he was one of those that felt like Jussie might have been lying. Now with the revelation of this week, then you have I told you so, and we should have believed.
But the revelation is not exactly what.
But it's not.
It's not a full clearing. I don't know what it is anymore. I really don't.
What part annoys me the most is how when the attack first happened, every celebrity and their mother tweeted about it. They were all, I stand with Jussie. It was trending worldwide. It was on Instagram, Twitter, everything.
It was very opportunistic of people, though.
The second somebody wrote an opinion piece about how he's getting written off the show and all this stuff and how he made it up, everybody deleted their posts, pulled back their tweets, and was like, well, his story was skeptical to begin with. And it's like, well, no, bitch, you don't think that. You're just thinking that because everyone's saying that.
But that's the point, because
you didn't think the story was skeptical to begin with. You're like, I stand with Jussie. Love wins. And now you're like, well, he's a liar.
Hashtag love wins.
Love wins. But the thing
I hate everyone.
Because the way social media works now, and because everything that drives the just news in general, people would talk, well, this tweet and this person tweeted and this, because people wanted to jump on what was a trending topic, which was Jussie. You had presidential candidates, you had people in the political sphere who
I will never forgive Nancy Pelosi for deleting her Jussie tweet. I'm sorry.
She did?
She did.
Well, what about the fact,
it's over for you, Nancy.
For me, when Trump tweeted FBI should investigate, I'm like, I stand with Jussie. The minute he went after, I'm like,
love wins.
Whatever he does, I'm like, well, whatever he does is against the instincts of humanity. So when he was attacking him 2 days ago, I'm like, you're an asshole, Trump. So I'm not gonna, I'm with Jussie.
I really don't know. By Jussie throughout this whole thing.
But Carolina, what about, like, your part? I know you're Latina, and I can't remember, Colombia?
Colombian and Peruvian.
Okay.
Grew up in Mexico, though.
Oh, wow.
I'm a little bit of everything.
So, but like when you feel, if someone, what I'm getting at in a way, something I was talking to Xorje in the break, like I wonder if the communities, it feels like there's a turn now. Jesse Jackson, just news a short time ago, defending Jussie Smollett, saying it's overboard, and the NAACP awards are tomorrow, and I saw the host of it, the guy from Blackish, Anthony
Anderson.
I don't know. I forget his name. He's a funny guy. He does stand up.
Dean, you're really bad with names.
And if I write him down, I'm really good. And he's saying, I hope Jussie wins. Now,
I do too.
Now, I can see maybe in the black community there's a turn, because I saw with Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman, where at first I'm like, those aren't good tweets, what you send out. And
yes,
then
they were.
No, but I'm
Let's
just
not
saying.
get into that, though.
Like she said, no, she apologized first when she goes, that was a trope and all that stuff. Then the vitriol, the attacks on her, then I began like defending her, because I'm like, what they're doing to her is horrific. It's way over the top for what had happened here.
Well, yeah, she's black, she's a woman, and she wears a hijab. She's an easy target.
So, Carolina, for your community, do you feel that connection? Like if someone, do you or do you not? Like if you see someone who is, do they have to be specific to the countries you're from, or anyone who's Hispanic? If something is unfair to them, do you feel a connection? Go, hey, that's wrong, that's unjust?
I absolutely feel that connection, not just with Hispanic people, but anyone who's a person of color, or even just a person who's innocent or a victim in anything like that. And I don't think like, well, white people don't have empathy or anything like that, you know, but
Right.
I do think like
They are the devil, though.
I'm gonna marry a white one, but I call him a white one.
That's what you call them? You have a white? You've got your own white?
At home, whitey at
Yeah.
home. It's like a pet.
So it's so weird. And with my black dog, great.
Wow.
But like I do feel that, because maybe like if there's a situation where it's like a Hispanic or a Latino guy or girl and they're going through something similar to like Jussie or something, any sense in that way at all, like I feel for them as well, because I do know what it's like. Not to say like no one else could understand, but anyone who's in a situation where they're called a liar or everything just falls on top of them like in this awful way. Like I don't know exactly what went down with Jussie, but I do believe Nina, which is the number one thing.
That's all that matters.
But also the like Xorje was saying before, like the most important thing is like there are lots of these cases that are really, really happening and like no one cares about except for like the fancy politicians who just want to like look good on TV and get like their quote on a headline or something like that. Like really what matters at the end of the day is like how do we keep this kind of thing from happening no matter what? Like Jussie Smollett, like okay, this happened, he has to deal with this, fine. Now what about this guy that we don't even know his name, you know, whether he's Hispanic, black, or Middle Eastern or whatever?
I think what needs to happen is people within the media need to have conversations with the general public about how media works with regards to something like search engine optimization. People need to know about what search engine optimization is and why certain headlines are created, why certain keywords are incorporated, and why people use them because they think you are going to be more inclined to click it. So if you have someone like Kamala Harris coming out about Jussie Smollett, if you are an editor, if you are somebody working at a digital publication, then you write for your search engine optimization, meaning you know, you want to use words that will optimize people clicking it on your search engine, so your Bings and your Googles. So you will put Kamala Harris, Jussie Smollett, and then another word that people are automatically Googling already. And so if you think about those kind of practices, if you think about how people are trying to drive certain narratives and drive how we consume things that might not need to be used to feed what we're doing, like this. So going back to the fart story about Donald Trump, like if Donald Trump said a fart joke,
That's a good sentence.
it is.
Way.
It's a good
Greatest
sentence.
sentence I've ever heard.
But that idea of people would be using that for search engine optimization. They would use the word fart. They'd use the word Donald Trump because that is what people are already Googling. So I think with regards to how people cover stories or how people talk about these stories in the media, let people know how we're kind of using them with regards to clicks and sharing things.
No, that's great. I didn't want to stop you. We have to go to a break because
Yes.
I want to come back. It's enough time to play our game and maybe talk about another topic. But it's interesting, search engine optimization. I've always heard that term. I didn't know exactly what it meant until you used to explain it. So I'm very glad
So
you-
if
Thanks,
not even kidding.
Jorge.
Yeah, so if
Thank
people
you,
talk
Jorge.
about
I agree.
SEO or if people talk
I've heard
about
about that.
SEO
stands for search engine optimization.
Search engine optimization.
We're done, folks. I just learned something new tonight, and I feel much better about myself. I'm not kidding.
too.
I didn't know that's what it meant.
But
Man,
think
I'm
about-
an
I
idiot.
learned who Robert Mueller was today.
True. But think about it. For the
I'm
listeners,
just kidding. God.
But perfect example, right? Robert Mueller. If you were to go home tonight and Google Robert Mueller, think about all the headlines that come up.
Maybe beer would come
and
up.
that's all because of the fact that those so thehill.com, politico.com, those editors are putting Robert Mueller in their search engine optimization keyword things.
Is that what we do when we swipe and we put in the tags?
Kinda.
Oh my God.
So if
we do that.
People who listen to
Put in
Sirius
Robert Mueller, never
XM,
mind. Put in Trump farting.
Trump
in my
fart.
optimization.
But if you're listening to Sirius XM and let's say you want to next week go back to this particular episode, you go to On Demand and you search Donald Trump fart. If you do that, this episode might come up because that is how
You
content
heard that,
is.
Lauren?
It has
Donald
to.
Trump fart. Put it in the chat.
All right, we got to go to break, and we're going to come back more, play some games, joke around, back here on the Dino Bidala Show right after this.
The Dean Obeidallah Show.
Voting is the most important civil right of our era because the right to vote preserves all other rights. It's not the Second Amendment. It's not guns. It's voting.
Sirius XM Progress. Your entire week's exhausting news broken down in one hilarious hour. What Just Happened is now live with Dean Obeidallah.
And welcome back, Dino Bidala Show. We're live right here Friday, March 29th. Joining me for What Just Happened, Carolina Hidalgo, Nina Kharoufeh, and Xorje Olivares. Now it's time for the game within the game. Hit it, Lauren!
Now it's time for America's newest game show sensation.
Guess who's said it?
And welcome to the game within the game. It's Dino Bidala here. I'm hosting, and we got three great contestants, and we're going to
perfect
read you
voice
some
for this.
quotes. This is my thing now. I'm doing my
My
announcer
pumpkin
voice.
is perfect.
Thank you. That's Nina, my pumpkin. Nina the lamb. Baby
love
lamb. Kharoufeh Zaria,
Say it
right?
back.
Baby lamb?
I said I love you.
I'm not saying it to you. This is just weird. Where's HR? HR, she said she loved me. Is it Lauren, Matt? Please write that down. That's definitely some offense. My God, you're like
It's
the
a
Joe
keyword now
Biden
that
of,
if people
of
want to
Sirius
tag it.
XM. So, oh no, Lauren just said she loved. That's just too weird. All right, sorry. All right, folks, here we go. I'm going to read you a quote from this week, and you tell me, I'll give you 4 guesses. Here we go. I think that Congressman Schiff is correct, and that report will be evidence of the existence of a conspiracy. I'll read it again. I think that Congressman Schiff is correct. In that report will be evidence of the existence of a conspiracy. Was it A, Bernie Sanders, B, Nancy Pelosi, C, Andrew Napolitano, D, Senator Richard Blumenthal?
B.
B, Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah, I don't know. I always guess these when
I'm
play
going to
these
say
games.
Nancy Pelosi only because I will never forgive her.
I'm gonna say Blumenthal.
3 people, you all got it wrong. It was Judge Napolitano on Fox News. All right.
Yeah.
I don't watch that
Here's
show.
a question about running for office. I never want to rule it out. I definitely enjoy the fight. Was that Ivanka Trump, Tiffany Trump, Eric Trump, or Don Jr.?
Don Jr.
Ivanka.
Don Jr.
2 of you.
Wait, which one was it?
Who?
Don Jr.
Oh, okay.
I'm the loser.
Okay, who said this? We will answer to the good Lord one day, and I will say in this instance, I fought for the lives of innocent babies, even under the threat of legal action. A, Pat Robertson. B, Franklin Graham. C, Jerry Falwell Jr. D, the governor of Mississippi, Phil Bryant.
I suck at this game. C.
The governor, the last one.
Franklin Graham.
No, the governor. Nina got it right.
Am I beating Jorge?
I'm not. I wasn't keeping score. No, no, you got 2-1.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm winning.
Caroline is getting free adult drinks. That's what you're getting, and the rest of you.
I need them.
That's so. I thought it was funny because these are things that someone like a religious leader would say. That's actually the governor of Mississippi while signing a fetal heartbeat law about making it essentially illegal to have an abortion because
God.
Christian Sharia law has come to Mississippi, folks. Who said this to Mark Thompson?
Michael from
this
the Bronx.
is true. We have to get that report. They, to their peril, will keep that report. Who said that to Mark Thompson? Adam Schiff, Kamala Harris, Nina Kharoufeh, or Nancy Pelosi?
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi.
All 3 winners. And Lauren, tell them what they
cheated.
won. Nothing? Lauren,
I won, though.
I'm not
He's
sure.
not the reigning champ anymore. Oh my God, we have a new champion.
I feel like every time I've come on the show, specifically for this segment, I've gotten 0 correct.
No, you've always gotten something right. But it doesn't matter. It's just
Is that
playing.
affirmative action?
It's
Is that
the
what
fun
happens?
you had.
The fact of the matter is I won.
Okay, here is something that I found fun today. Here was the governor of Washington State, Jay Inslee, on Fox News, trolling Trump on Fox News in response to the very first question. I just like this. It doesn't make me laugh, but I just loved it. If I go on Fox and Friends, I'm going to do this. Here's clip number 1.
Donald Trump said, I hope that I can run against the Green New Deal for a while because he said the more he talks about it, the more people don't like it. What are people getting wrong about it?
Well, I look forward to talking about clean energy jobs, but I do want to make some news on Fox Friends. I always want to make news on your show first, and that is today I am challenging Donald Trump on his favorite show to release his tax returns like I did this morning, 12 years at jinslee.com. Look, I want to say it is time for him to come clean with the American people. He's got to show what he's been hiding, and Americans deserve that truth.
That's a Democratic governor who's running for president trolling Trump on Fox and Friends. I like that. Now,
On
it
his
wasn't as
favorite
funny.
show, he said.
Right. He even said, I love that very much. I like that. If I go on Fox, I don't know what I would say. Like, Trump, I know you're watching. You suck. Just want to say
You're
suck.
fat.
That,
You're
okay,
ugly.
if you could say anything, you would say you're fat.
I'd say you're fat. You're disgusting. You need to go to a gym or get lipo like normal people do.
Wait, what
You
would say,
need to get
what would you-
liposuction, Trump. I just
Like,
what would-
if
That's
we,
the
if
least
we
of his
were on
Laser
problems.
lipo is a thing.
if you were on Fox and Friends and you get one message out to Trump, what would it be?
I would say just repeatedly, beware the kids.
Beware of the kids?
But where are the kids?
That's so
But
sweet.
where
Now I feel
are the
like-
kids?
Now I feel like such an asshole.
No. This is fine. We need all. Caroline, if you had a chance, you're on Fox and Friends, you can say anything you know Trump is watching. What would you say?
You know what? I've thought about this. I think we all have that kind of weird fantasy in a way. And I would just say, like, yes, kids. What are you doing every single day that
He
you are
ate the kids.
Every day that you're in office, there is a crime against humanity, no matter what happens. And yeah, you're a little overweight. You should
Trump
probably
ate
take
the
care
children.
of that. Yes.
Because
That's
Trump-
where they are. They
Because
disappeared.
you want to say something that you know is not going to immediately be like cut to black and like sorry we had some technical difficulties.
Right, so you want to say
something that's a little benign but at the same time kind of.
I would be okay. We have to go to a break. I would yell out, "Sharia law's coming!" No, I'm kidding. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
That sounds like a porn.
Dan Obadala Show on Sirius XM Progress 127.
You're listening to What Just Happened with everyone's favorite host, Dean Obeidallah.
Welcome back to the Dean Obeidallah Show. We have to finish up by saying our full names. We just learned in the commercial break that everyone's got longer names. Okay, so Carolina, what's your full name? Then what's your Twitter handle?
Well, actually, my full name is Carolina Hidalgo Saavedra Caballero de Melo, and my Twitter is Carolina Does Okay, and my Instagram is Carolina Danger Hidalgo.
And that's your real whole name?
Yes.
Nina Kharoufeh?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm eating gummy bears.
Say your Arabic first name, your real one.
Najwa Kharoufeh.
That's your. So is there a middle name?
Raspi.
Wow.
It's really harsh, I know.
My name,
my parents hate
when
me.
I was growing up, I thought it was Dean Joseph Obeidallah. It's actually not. It's Dean Abdul Obeidallah.
Abdul.
Because of my father's name. And I learned it like 7-8 years ago after he died when I had to get my real birth certificate. So
interesting.
It's kind of weird. And Jorge, what's your full name?
Jorge Andres Olivares Urbina.
Urbina. So it's not even Olivares. Urbina.
Urbina is my mom's maiden name, which is technically like
just throw all the names together.
Well, that's the way historically you do it in Mexico. If you put your father's last name, which is your traditional last name, and then your mother's maiden name goes at the end.
Exactly.
So she doesn't lose her identity.
There's too many names, or like there's a lot of Gonzaleses, and so like you have to do 2 last names so that way it matches up to be your person.
Even if
Alexandria
it's like
Ocasio-Cortez, her name's probably even longer than that. It might even be a 4th name. And got 26.
I'm not sure.
All right, so what do you tomorrow? Your show,
yes.
folks. 26. Go ahead.
Affirmative reaction at Jorge O XORJEO. Have Luis Galilei and Julie Pinheiro, and we're talking Latino stuff and the border closing. Because what am I going to do?
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Nina.
New Yorkers, come to the Big Brown Show April 7th.
April 7th, Big Brown
New
Comedy Show.
Yorkers
Nina's
come.
hosting in a minute. All right, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in.
Good night.